There are whispers of an organization that operates in the shadows, a silent hand guiding the course of human history. At its heart is a figure known only as the Overseer, a man whose existence is a carefully guarded secret, his identity a ghost in the machine. He is the architect of a grand design, a project so vast in its scope that it encompasses the globe itself. His motives are unknown, his methods inscrutable, but his influence is undeniable. This is the story of the man who watches the world, the silent guardian of a project that has shaped civilizations. From a single file, an empire of control was born, managed by a stickman in a black suit whose neutral expression betrays nothing of the immense power he wields. It began in a minimalist room, stripped of all but the most essential elements. A single file, thin and unassuming, was placed into his hands. Inside were the initial schematics, the foundational data for what would become the project. His face, a mask of serene neutrality, offered no hint of the future he was about to orchestrate. This was not a moment of dramatic revelation, but a quiet, procedural transfer of responsibility. The stickman, with his perfectly round pale beige head and simple dot eyes, accepted the file. It was the genesis of his work, the first piece of a puzzle that would span generations and continents. He was a blank slate, the perfect vessel for a task that required absolute detachment and unwavering focus. The world outside was unaware that its destiny was now held within that single, unremarkable folder. From that solitary file, his domain expanded. He was next seen in a sprawling surveillance room, a labyrinth of simple screens, each one a window into a different life, a different corner of the world. His slim, stick-like figure moved with an unnatural precision, his black suit a stark contrast to the glow of the monitors. He would point to a specific screen, his simple rounded hand singling out an individual or an event, and with that single gesture, unseen protocols would be initiated. He was the central node in a web of information, processing data with a cold, machine-like efficiency. The lives flickering across the screens were mere variables in his grand equation, pieces on a board only he could see. He observed, he analyzed, he directed, his thin line mouth never once curving into a smile or a frown. The project required more than just observation, it demanded intervention. In a stark white room, reminiscent of a sterile laboratory, the stickman donned a doctor's coat over his ever-present suit. He was no longer just a watcher but an active participant, an experimenter. Before him stood another stickman, a subject in a long series of trials designed to understand and manipulate the very essence of their being. The Overseer observed with the same detached curiosity he showed the surveillance screens. He was studying behavior, response, and potential, gathering the data needed to refine his methods of control. This phase was crucial, laying the groundwork for influencing populations on a massive scale. Each observation, each test, brought him closer to perfecting the art of silent, imperceptible guidance. His influence solidified and his organization grew. In a dark, imposing office, other stickmen in identical black suits reported to him. They were his agents, his eyes and ears in the field, extensions of his will. They would present their findings, detailing the progress of operations across the globe. He listened in silence, his small black oval eyes absorbing every detail. A subtle nod was all it took to dismiss them, a silent acknowledgement of their report and an unspoken command to continue their work. He was the undisputed leader, his authority absolute and unquestioned. There was no need for impassioned speeches or lengthy meetings. His command was felt, not heard. The hierarchy was clear, and he sat at its apex, a silent king on a throne of shadows, his directives carried out with unwavering loyalty. Ultimately, the scope of his work was revealed in a global control room. Before him lay a massive world map, its surface dotted with blinking lights. Each light represented a key point of influence, a node in his worldwide network. With a simple, elegant gesture, he commanded the entire system. As he pointed to different regions, lights blinked in unison, signifying coordinated actions being executed in real time. From this single room, he could sway economies, shift political tides, and guide cultural trends. The stickman, once a mere recipient of a single file, now held the world in his hands. He was the Overseer, the invisible force shaping the destiny of mankind, his grand design unfolding according to a plan known only to him. And as the lights on the map continued to blink, the world outside danced to a rhythm it could not hear, conducted by the silent man in the black suit.